What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And as you can see, we got my guys on the screen. We got a newcomer, actually, AJ, from Hip Hop Vibes, something light, something slight. We got my boy Sharper here as well. And then Ron from the HCB Collection. Fellas, how y'all doing? We're going to start it off proper. I got to say who to start it off with. I've been realizing that, and that's been on my bad. I apologize for the past videos. So, AJ, since you're the newcomer, how's everything been going with you, man?
Living, man, living, working, grinding, staying busy, podcast, radio, all that good shit. We can cuss on here, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I cuss. Only thing I ain't said is the N word. That's the only thing I ain't said on here yet.
All right, cool. I'll try to refrain from saying that word.
Yeah, you try to. Yeah. Sharper, how's everything with you, man?
Going good, man. I started coaching last week, so prepping for the upcoming football season in the fall. So hanging in there.
Hey, good stuff. Good stuff. Let me know when the games are, man. We'll come out.
Got you.
Yeah, and I also appreciate you too, because you actually got the hat on, which the light of the moon would beam directly down on your head and blind everybody.
Oh, Sean! Hey, look, Sean Livingston. You already starting out with the good jokes, Sean Livingston. Okay.
Krillin. Come on now. Solar flare, real quick, Krillin. Solar flare.
Hey, look. I'm glad. I'm glad you did the full smoke with Matt Barnes and everything. Now you talked about your road to recovery, and now you back blessing us common brothers with your presence. Okay.
But see, at least I'm looked at as a champion. Consistently, you just took L's. I'm just saying, like even in your household, you looked at as a second option.
Okay.
Damn.
Hey, look. Hey, also got called. Hold up. I also got called Derek Fisher. So hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And Derek Fisher got how many rings? How many rings does Derek Fisher? How many rings does he have with your Lakers?
Derek was clutch though.
Ooh.
Derek was clutch though. I don't know if you had a clutch moment. But
I mean, for you, you rode on the piggyback.
Other people hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my bad. I forget. We got some talkers on the show. That's my bad. Ron, how's everything with you, man? How's everything with
you? Everything's good, man. Life is good.
That's good. See that? Yeah, I apologize.
Everything is wonderful. It's been an amazing week.
I'm gonna just let you guys know right here. You got two Spurs fans, so they're gonna be really excited. I lied and told them earlier we were going to talk about the Spurs, but I'm joking. We're not talking about the Spurs. I just got to get them on the show. Just do it to them like that. Just, you know what I mean? Something slight. What's that?
I'm just saying, number one picks do well with us.
Oh, that's the pass.
Number one picks do well with us.
That's the pass. Okay, that's cool.
You mad? You real mad? You real mad?
That is
get to
so crazy. That is so crazy. So look, clearly, ladies and gentlemen, I think we might view the game a little bit differently, right? Like, for example, I view the game based on, my team being champions for a while. Sharper views the game as a team that's just been lackluster for a while. Ron and AJ just, they tried hard for a good minute. I ain't gonna lie to you, and they hit a little snag too. But so did we. So I respect them. Wizards though, they go back to the Bullets, please. But
hey,
let me ask you guys this, because look, I talked about championships right there, right? Notice I just talked about championships, highlighted championships against Sharper. Go back to the Bulls and then we can talk. But is that a poor aspect to look at the game? Because Kevin Durant was actually there was a tweet that came out and he was basically telling somebody that you should look at the game whether or not you're good.
I just think how y'all consume the game is trash. Like, are you good or not?
I agree. I
mean, some things could be that simple. Are you just good or not? I mean, a lot of people have seen it for a long time, brother. And it's okay. These lists don't really mean nothing anyway. So why are you getting so upset about them?
I think a lot of times we view how many championships someone had. Did they get it as the leader? This, that, and the third. And it's like, should we just be viewing these players as, are you just good or not? Like Kevin Durant said. AJ, since you're a newcomer, we'll start with you.
I kind of look at I'm more so of a wrestling fan of anything, and I look at it from that standpoint. Like, there are a lot of dope ass wrestlers who have never been like world champion, but they still have that accolade being like super athletic, good on the mic and great workers, good to get along with and all that stuff. They just never got the big one. So it's
Okay.
not all about the championships.
Okay. Now going to the wrestling point, right? Because I'm not the biggest wrestling fan, so I think this actually hit a little home. But I think for those casual fans, right? Casual basketball fans, and I'm a casual wrestling fan. I don't remember too many people that ain't really champions like that. Like, you got HBK, you got Rock, Kane, Undertaker, Kurt Angle and them. You know what I mean? Like, I personally don't remember the other good named athlete or the good named wrestlers that might have had those good accolades because I didn't follow wrestling as well either. So,
I can use Kane as an example. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I can use Kane as an example. Like Kane, as far as like WWF champion, he was only champion for a day, and that was his only reign. He'd been tag team champion multiple times, hardcore champion. Yeah, just one time, just one day, and that was back in like '98.
Damn, the way they had that man featured, you thought he was a champion at least 3 times.
Exactly.
That's
But
crazy.
that just goes to show it's not all about the championships.
Yeah,
Because
no,
as beast as Kane was,
no, it is not all about the championship. Charles Barkley is one person, for example, in the NBA, going back to the NBA side, that he doesn't have a championship, but got a lot of accolades. Sharper, what's your take on that? Should we just start viewing these players as whether or not you're good or whether or not you're winning a championship? I think if you're viewing it as whether or not you're good, your team looks a little bit better. So, like, what's your thoughts on this?
Like, for example, how would you rate Bradley Beal? Some people feel like Bradley Beal is he a star. I've heard him be called a star. I've heard him be called a superstar. Me, I just think he's a solid player at this point. And there's nothing against Bradley Beal. Like, would you say he's a top 12 shooting guard in the NBA? I don't know right now. But him going to a team like Phoenix, he's of course going to be the number 3 option. But for us, he was the number 1 because we didn't have the 4 of us, and Bradley Beal could have been the starting 5 for the Wizards. I mean, we didn't have anybody.
So in terms of Bradley Beal's legacy, then do you feel like his legacy is okay? It's good, or
I mean, it's going to be interesting. A lot of people were joking. One of my other homeboys was doing Wizards Unlocked, and he was talking about he doesn't know how well Bradley Beal will be received when Phoenix comes to DC to play and they do the tribute video.
Mhm.
Is he gonna get the standing ovation? I mean, they brought back Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, Antoine Jameson, and they had to wait for that time with Gilbert to pass because of how he exited DC. But everybody loved Agent Zero or Hibachi. Look at John Wall. When John Wall came back, he got a standing ovation. Right now, I mean, he's a good player like Bradley Beal was an all-star on a bad team. But how will he be on an all-star team with an all-star roster? Is he still going to be an all-star? Or is he going to be a solid, good player? I think with D-Book and KD, he's going to be a solid, good player.
Okay.
Because they're going to get the number 1 and number 2 best defensive players on the opposing team.
Right.
Bradley Beal's going to get,
Ron, let me ask you this. Ron, you with us? You on mute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Keep the audio clean.
Okay, bet. So, like, we work together, right? So, on the job, I don't necessarily think folks some folks care about, what's your status and, where you ranked and stuff like that. But really, I feel like people just care, are you good at the job? Like, are you like how decent are you at your job, right? So is that fair to say? Because NBA end of day is a job. It's an occupation. Some people don't love this thing. It's a job. So I mean, should we just start viewing people as NBA players as whether or not you're good? Because the legacy aspect is cool for like the actual fans of the game. But I think from a casual fan perspective, should we just look at whether or not you're good? Which that might be another discussion too to have. What's considered good? But should we view it as that, or should we base it more so on legacy in terms of these players?
I think you have to base it on legacy. I don't think sports would be as impactful if people weren't basing on the broader impact of what it makes in their historical relevance. Right? Like, oh, that was a good player. Like, that's kind of what makes the discussions. Like, oh, Pistol Pete was a great point guard. He was one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. They would have had the line. Like, that's what makes conversation. That's what makes this stuff memorable. To sit there and say, oh, we should just not be as hard on people because we just determine whether or not they're good players. No, you're going to be compared to your peers, yo. Like, you're going to be compared to your generation. To sit there and say somebody should get, somebody should get more credence, right, for just being a performer or having a decent stat line. Nah, it's not fair to the players who actually bust their ass to be the best. Right? There wouldn't be a Kobe and a Jordan if it was just, oh, I just want to be good. Like, that's not reality, bro. That's just not. So I don't think a casual fan should just be like, oh, yeah, he's a good player. Nah, because then what are you doing it for? It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not something that 15 million people can qualify for. If you go to school, you get this cert. This is one of about 6,000 players that have played in the NBA. That is a fraction of the population. You're talking heights and genetics and dynamics, it's even smaller to even get to that caliber and that level, yo. So to sit here and say, oh, it's like another job, I don't agree with that statement. It's not. It is entertainment, but it's not like another job, yo. If I was in a field that's 1 in 6,000 people, I deserve to pop my shit. I should want to be the best. I think that's good for people who are in the industry or a player. That's good for their rationalization in their context. But for the casual fan, we're paying our money to see a performance, to see an entertainment aspect. Nah, you can't just sit there and say, "Oh, we should be cool because they're good."
I do get that. It's tough sometimes. I do know when we rank players, we might rank them. Like, for example, let's say if Charles Barkley was in a better situation team wise, he had good teams, but let's say he was in a better situation team wise, he might get a little bit more recognition. So I'm thinking like sometimes we got to look at players and be like, okay, like this player was actually better than this player. Like, as opposed to saying, oh, well, this player has more championships, or this player has more MVPs. Like, those don't always tell the tale, and I feel like sometimes we shortchange players in those discussions when you want to have where you're saying who's better. Even they're all opinions, so you got to respect the end of the day. But still, I think like we do got to factor in more so whether or not players are actually good. Which again, that discussion of what do you consider as good could be another discussion for another day. But I also do agree too, though, you can't discredit people who are considered great. Like, this is their passion. You have the same opportunity. Like, they might have better ability, but I mean, some of these players, like Kobe, wasn't the most athletic player out here, but he's at least for me number 2. So it's like clearly you can put some work ethic into it and climb up in the NBA ranking. So to that degree as well too, I also agree with that as well. But well, look. Fellas, now I greatly appreciate this. Did y'all have anything that y'all wanted to say for y'all want to close up shop, or is there another topic that y'all wanted to talk about before we close up shop?
Spurs got good history with number 1 picks.
Hey, there you go.
Considering the fact that it's David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Victor Wembanyama, that's not really, a hot take.
I'm not a hot take. I'm just giving you history. I mean, past 2 number 1 picks, both Hall of Famers. I'm saying.
Yeah, I was about to say, I ain't gonna keep these boys all too long. But I appreciate y'all boys definitely, and I'll probably have to cut out some of that because that was a little bit of us talking. But no, I really appreciate y'all. But we'll definitely tune in again another time though. I may try to limit the Spurs fans up though. Some of them do be getting annoying, so we'll do that.
Just like Lakers fans. Just like Lakers
fans are always good. We're
annoying
angelic.
as hell.
City of Angels. We're angelic.
Okay.
But on that one though. On that one, we're going to sign off. All right, y'all.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.